Hello, I'm trying something new. I have been a podcaster. I have a podcast called the Self-Love Journals podcast that I started almost 3 years ago. And so much has happened since then. So much has happened. And I'm embarking on a new journey to build my business in music therapy, which is something I never dreamed I could do. And so that's why I'm starting up this podcast again and trying it out on video, because I want to be able to kind of work through my mind and my ideas of how I'm going to grow these programs for kids, using my skills and my abilities and also my life. So I just thought I'd start this episode by, reintroducing myself. I'm Trisha Baker. I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. And there's a lot of things about me that I don't want to identify. I don't want to say I am a mom, so I guess I'll start over. I'm Trisha Baker. I have 4 kids. I've been divorced for 2 years now, and it's been a really tough journey. I will say anything on here that I talk about my divorce or that process or my ex, it won't be anything personal that I wouldn't feel comfortable my kids hearing as well. So but yeah, it's been a journey. It's been very difficult, but so many good things have come since then. I have increased my confidence. I've done so many things that I never thought I would do, like working again in my field of music therapy, because I was getting divorced. I was a full-time mom and I had to go back to work. So it forced me to study. I actually started studying 5 days after I knew I was getting divorced to recertify for my boards. And that was scary. It took me 3 times to pass the test. Kind of a miracle, I guess. I was going through so much trauma, so many hard things, and not to mention it'd been like 15 years or more since I'd taken the test. So it was hard, but I passed, and then I got a job even before I passed doing music therapy for hospice, which I did love, and it was wonderful, but it just got too isolating and too sad. So I decided to go elsewhere, and then I started working at the Utah State Developmental Center. It's a facility where adults with severe disabilities live. Different types of disabilities, I should say, and I rebuilt that program. It had been like 6 years since music therapy had been there, and I brought it back. But I wasn't working for myself. I was working under another music therapist. And then I also became certified to teach group fitness at Lifetime Fitness in South Jordan, Utah, and I teach barre, and then I got certified to teach yoga a year ago. So I've been teaching yoga, and then I just got certified in this new class format called Mind Body 360, which I absolutely love. And so I've been making connections there, and my confidence has risen. It has really kind of helped me find my passion again with movement. Barre is a lot of kind of dance related movements, and so I love creating my classes for my barre classes. My classes are growing, people are coming, they're coming back, they're going to all my other classes, and I just feel like I'm creating, like I'm helping to build a community. Like 4 or 5 months ago, I thought I need to start my own business because I believe in myself as a music therapist, what I have to offer, my abilities, my unique skills, my background, but I just didn't quite have the confidence. It's very scary, and but I knew I had to try. Instead of working for somebody else and doing really great work as a music therapist under somebody else, I just thought, I owe it to myself to try. So that's what I'm doing here. I did start my business. It's called Bright Light Music Therapy. Discover your light within. And it's for kids mainly. Maybe I'll do adults at some point, but just to be safe, I started off with toddlers and preschoolers. Just music therapy, goals of listening, following directions, Also expression of emotions and identification of feelings and regulating emotions. But, they're really small, so we don't get too deep. And it's been good. I have a few classes that are pretty solid, but other than that, it hasn't grown like I thought and was hoping. And so I've had to just kind of pivot. And also it has freed up some space for me to think I really need to get working on this program for older kids, elementary up through high school. And I'm going to call it the Light Within Me program. And it's going to be a program where kids learn how to develop and grow their self-love, tools for depression, anxiety, and how to build resiliency. And it's kind of, I guess it's vulnerable for me because this is something that I have struggled with since I was little. Hence, this is why I started my podcast, the Self-Love Journals podcast. And honestly, it gave me a voice by just talking to myself, but getting my feelings out, reading my 12 journals and going through and pulling out the things that I wrote, and I put them into kind of lessons of how I learned how to love myself. Honestly, it gave me the courage to start speaking up for myself in my marriage, asking hard questions, and ultimately I showed myself self-love, and I stood up for myself. Even though divorce is extremely hard, and it's so hard, on your kids and just knowing what to do there. But I would say that doing my podcast was kind of the catalyst of that transition for me to be able to kind of know what I needed to do and to be able to have those conversations with my ex and just be honest with myself. And so I am grateful for the podcast. Really just did it for me. I have 30 episodes, but now it's kind of like a framework for me to be able to use when I start putting together my program and my classes for music therapy. So music therapy it's a clinical-based practice. I have my bachelor's degree in music therapy. I had to take human anatomy. I had to take physiology. I had to take a cadaver lab. I had to take psychology, different types of psychology. I had to take statistics because in music therapy, we collect data and we measure progress, and we back it up by notes. Everything has session notes. So it's a pretty in-depth degree. It is quite small. It's not as renowned as other degrees. But it is something that I went into because I love music and I wanted to help people. So that's why I did it. And, when I had my first child, I was like, this isn't for me. I cannot work and have a baby at home at the same time. And so I knew that I wasn't going to work, but that when my kids were older, all of them, I was going to work again in music therapy. And life does not happen the way that you always want it to or that you think it will. And so I had to get back up out there, but I'm so grateful that I have my degree. So now I'm here. I built some confidence. I've been working at the gym. I've been doing what I love, moving my body. I absolutely love movement. And it's given me the courage to start my own business. So this is my journal. I'm showing on the video my diary, actually. It was when I was in, I think, the second grade. And I wrote in here something on October 11th, 1990. Today, I hate me very, 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 very much because I always do something very bad and I feel sick about it. Here's my little handwriting. And this is kind of how I have thought of myself for most of my life. When I was born, I was just always really shy. I hid behind my mom. I used to suck my thumb and smell my hair. I still do that. I don't suck my thumb anymore, but sometimes I smell my hair. Must be from my childhood. I was just insecure, I guess. But I learned to excel in things, and I got attention and validation when I did. And so I worked really hard. Did not have a home where we talked about our emotions. And from a very young age in elementary, I remember having a pit in my stomach. Like almost every morning when I went to school, I had a pit in my stomach and I was nervous and I didn't really know what it was, but I do remember asking my parents, I don't remember specifically which one, what is this feeling? I feel like I have anxiety. And guess what I was told? I was told, you don't have anxiety. Why would you have anxiety? What do you have to be anxious about? You get good grades, you're a great student, you have lots of friends, you're in dance, you're a singer. Why would you be nervous? So I didn't know why, but I still felt the same. So guess what my little brain thought? My brain thought, oh, okay, so I don't have anxiety, so it's not that. And I've been told I'm fine, but I know I don't feel fine, so there must be something wrong with me. I'm defective. I gotta fix it. I gotta be better. I gotta try harder. I gotta do more. I gotta be more righteous. I gotta say my prayers more and all of those things. I just constantly felt like I had to be more. I was also very, very good at masking it. On the outside, it looked like I was fine. On the inside, oh my goodness, so much going on, churning, just unsettled, dysregulation. That, of course, I didn't know what that word was. And I just became a person that wasn't even me. I didn't even know that I didn't know who I was until I was 21. And that was a big wake-up call. I wasn't being real. I thought I was, but it's because I had learned these patterns of trying to look outside of myself. I'd look at other people and be like, oh, that looks good. I should be like this person. And so I was like tons of different versions of other people around me that I was trying to copy that I thought was good. I had no idea what I wanted, really. I mean, I have my core values and I'm grateful for that. But as far as just, I don't know, like opinions, preferences, I mean, gosh, I didn't realize this either till I was older. I don't know what age, but somebody would ask me a question. I would think, what do I think this person wants me to say? And then I would like say what I thought they wanted me to say, but it was all unconscious. I did not have a conscious pattern of this. I didn't know this was happening to me. And it's because from such a young age, basically a baby, I was just creating a false sense of self. So I have 12 journals. This is a binder that I have full of pages. I think there's like, I don't know, like 80 pages. And they're just, I printed them off from my 12 journals. All of the things that I wrote in there that I thought would be pertinent to my podcast. And these are good. Some of them are really, really sad. Like here's one, for instance, just random. March 16th, 2000. Oh, well, yeah, that's when I graduated from high school. So it says, I got through the day. It seemed like I tried over and over to pick up my life, to get things done, be a good person, feel good about myself and others for the past 3 months. It's 2:00 in the morning. I've just watched You've Got Mail, and now I'm sitting in bed with a stomach ache from eating too many no-bake cookies. I just feel like sitting and thinking about nothing. I don't know how or what to think. I can't make myself do things. Oh gosh, it just goes on and on. I've had a lot of struggles. Food was one of them, kind of still is in some degree. I used to eat until I felt sick on purpose to basically kind of sabotage myself, be like, see, I knew that you were ugly and fat, and I have been so mean to myself. And luckily, I'm far enough away that even talking about it now, I can tell, like, no, I don't feel like that anymore. And I have done actually a lot of like inner child work, lots of therapy, and just a lot of self-reflection. And I don't feel like I am that, that sad, scared girl anymore. And I'm grateful because honestly, I think I put off putting together these music therapy classes because I was kind of afraid that I would have to revisit these feelings. But this is like, in this moment, I'm like, no, I know that I am not there anymore. And that's how I know I'm ready. That's how I know I'm ready to put together these classes and share it with those around me and see, who I can help. So a little bit more details about my business. Music therapy, like I said, we use music as the medium of therapy. So I'm not like a clinical therapist. I don't have a separate degree in clinical therapy, but I am a music therapist. And that is my degree. And so we use music, but that's not all we do. We don't just sing and listen to music the whole time. We identify needs. So we have an assessment. So with the individual, or maybe we'll have a group, we'll assess the individual. We'll talk about their needs, their likes, their dislikes, and their musical preferences, and all these kinds of things. And we'll identify in what ways they would like help through music. So for the kids, I just decided that because I have struggled so much with my self-love, anxiety, and depression, which got worse as I got older, very bad in my marriage, very, very difficult. And I do not feel like a victim. I'm not a victim. And I just feel like, though I can still remember, and of course, as humans, always we'll feel inadequate one way or another at certain times in our lives. But I don't feel like that has a hold on me anymore. I don't feel like that's my identity, of me just feeling like I'm not enough. I do know I'm enough, and I do struggle with feeling it all the time, but I recognize that's okay. That's common humanity. Everybody struggles, and that's okay. I have enough now with what I've learned. I don't feel like a victim. I don't feel codependent. I don't feel helpless. I don't feel all of those things that would keep me from having the confidence to be able to use what I've gone through, use what I've learned, use my talents, use my abilities, and my experience to help others. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but that's okay. I'm starting one at a time. And this platform of a podcast and now a video, it's something I didn't necessarily want to do, but it's a way, I guess, for people to connect with me. And so I'm just giving it a try. I'm not a social media person. I'm not an influencer. I don't really like doing social media stuff, but I thought, well, what if I don't spin it that way? What if I just share? What if I just be me? So I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's nice. So the two things that I do have going on right now in my business, I go to a daycare that my daughter works at, and I go to the daycare in my neighborhood, and I have 11 students, 2 different classes, and their parents have paid me for 8 weeks to do music therapy with them. It's amazing. I don't know if it's going to continue, if I'm going to continue getting students or whatnot. And then I have another opportunity at a nearby preschool, the same one that my kids went to, 2 of my kids. And she is allowing me to use her building after her hours. And I was able to promote my classes to her parents. And I've done just 1 class. And again, I don't know how it's going to grow, and I don't know if it will. And believe, I have been plagued with this, like, well, what if it doesn't work out? And it's really kind of stopped me. It's not stopped me, but it was discouraging because I was allowing my fears to get to me. And I was like, oh, what if this doesn't work out? I think I've accepted, I have to be open to if it doesn't, and I can't just let that fear control me. So with those 2 classes, and I was trying to do a class in my home, it didn't quite work out. It made me think, okay, I need to focus on the class for the older kids. So I just wanted to share with you, a song that I've done with the preschool. So this, in the preschool, they have a theme. It's the Big Life Journal. It comes from there. And I just took a picture of it. I just took a picture of the theme on her wall, and I asked her if I could create a song. And like 20 minutes before I was supposed to leave, I created this song. So it's called I Have a Growth Mindset. 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 I am smart, I can grow my brain. It's like a muscle, I can do hard things. Yes, I'm smart, I can grow my brain. And it's all because I have a growth mindset. 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 I believe that I can achieve anything with effort and strategies. I believe I can achieve anything, and it's all because I have a growth mindset. 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 When I fail or make mistakes, I learn from them, so it's okay. When I fail or make mistakes, it's okay because I have a growth mindset. 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 So I wrote that song, and honestly, this song has helped me as an adult, realizing, gosh, I wrote this for kids, and I don't always have a growth mindset. I've been getting down on myself, and it seems so simple, and we make it so difficult sometimes. So being a teacher is such a gift. I can say that being a yoga teacher, I've taught surrender for several months, and it's a yin yoga class where we just hold these stretching poses for 5 minutes at a time. And we're able to talk to the students in a way of presence, coming to the present moment. It's just amazing. But it took me taking a yoga teacher training, becoming a yoga teacher, for me to get it out of my system, my perfectionism, and all of those things that have kind of held me down and caused me to have this self-loathing. And so I'm just so excited. And this little song, it gives me kind of, I guess, the faith and the courage to keep going forward. So the Light Within Me program is going to be for kids elementary up to high school. It'll be divided into different classes according to about 3 years difference of age groups. And each class will have a different focus, and each one will build on each other. So the overall theme is to discover your own light. And while doing that, you discover your self-love. And my very first episode on the Self-Love Journals podcast is called Uncovering Your Self-Love, because I've decided through my personal research and on myself, and just in general of other psychology information that I have read, is that we are born with innate worth. We're not born hating ourselves. Nobody is. That's like a conditional thing that we learned from society and culture and just lots of stuff. And so I wanted to say, it's in there. It's inside of you. You just have to uncover it. So I've developed all these tools that have helped me. And again, I know this all because I have 12 journals that are very similar to this. Very similar. 12 journals. And I wrote everything in there because, remember, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I could not talk to my parents or anybody about my emotions. So I wrote everything in my journal. And a lot of it was, I don't know why I feel this way, but I described how I felt. And then over the years, I figured things out. And so I have like this roadmap of how I've learned to love myself. But I can see it through the lens of a child because I have all of my journals and my diaries from when I was young. And I know the most raw details of my thoughts from when I was 9 years old all the way up to now. And so I think it's a very unique thing that I have. And I've always known these journals were like precious and valuable in some way. And I did my podcast, and that was for me. And now I'm excited to further that in that learning and my growth to be able to build my own music therapy practice and help kids with the things that I've struggled with. I think most kids these days struggle with the things of self-love, anxiety, depression, and just not having those tools for resiliency. One other thing that I want to talk about that I think is a miracle. I wanted to do this 2 years ago, and literally in February 2 years ago, I put out my ads. I was going to call it the Center for Self-Love. That was the name. And I developed a speech disorder right here in my throat. My vocal cords, they were spasming so fast. I had no control over it. And I was unable to speak or sing. I could get words out, but it would constantly shut off the sound. And then it hurt. It was so tense in my neck, my shoulders. And it was a manifestation of just everything that was going on inside 2 years ago. And it was just my body starting to heal from trauma. And I went to speech therapy 10 times. I had to get Botox in my vocal cords, and I was able to go back to work a month later, but it hurt. I was hurting myself. I was hurting my voice, and I was hurting my muscles by trying to get this sound out. It was very disheartening. It was very scary. And so here I am 2 years later. I still have the slightest bit of little catch, and sometimes I can hear it. But I have done so much work to try to lessen just like the muscle tension. I've gotten many cranial massages. But I think it's a miracle because I thought I should do this 2 years ago, and apparently it was not the right time. But here I am now. I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know if this business is going to be something that is going to produce an income because I'm a single mom. I need to make an income. I don't want to live my life codependent anymore, believing that someone else will take care of me. I want to feel like I can take care of myself and give me and my kids what I need. Not too much. I just think it's responsible to find a career and a job that I can have long term, so I can continue to help provide for my kids. And I just knew that I had to try this. I have to give this an honest effort to be able to open up my own practice. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot of patience for myself. I do finally believe in myself. I believe in myself. I have the confidence to share what I know, to share my talents, and just the things that I've gone through. So the classes will be groups of kids. Also, I can work with individuals. And we will learn things through music. We'll do group drumming. We'll do group songwriting, lyric analysis of their favorite songs, talk about the words, break it down. I will write songs just like I did for I Have a Growth Mindset for the preschool, based on themes, ideas, and tools. Music is such a powerful way to help learn, to help ingrain things in your mind, to help rewire the brain. Your thoughts and the way that you think, they're just habits. They're not set in stone. And so if we provide kids with a way that's fun, it's physical. We're physically using our voice or our body to move. I'm a dancer, I'm a yoga instructor. Also, I can incorporate meditation, movement into the music therapy practice. So it's like the sky's the limit. I mean, that's how I want to think of it. So that's what it is. And I mean, even saying it out loud, I'm like, yeah, that sounds really good. Like, I would sign my kid up for that. It just gets me excited to be able to talk out loud about it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start creating these classes. Kind of thinking in a couple months, I will have classes where kids can come, just try it once, come back if they want, but then over the summer, they will build on each other. So it'll be kind of like a camp or sessions where they come for several weeks in a row, music therapy week after week, also combined with maybe some yoga, maybe some meditation, and these things will build on each other and they will learn songs, they will be given tools. So I'm really excited about it. So yeah, so that's me. That's me, and this is what I'm doing now. I feel good about it. So thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned. My plan is to have one of these every week so that I can continue with just the explanation of what I'm doing. I'll have more content available as I write the songs and start to create my sessions. So I'll have more for you. So take care of yourself, friends.